I'm Zahir, Kelvin, Abdullah, and this is Nightline. The top stories: 10 members of Sabah's new cabinet sworn into office. And Prime Minister confirms several ministerial vacancies will be filled. The new Sabah State Cabinet under the leadership of Chief Minister Dato Sri Hajiji Noor was sworn in on Monday. Hajiji's second-term lineup comprises 10 state assemblymen, including 7 from the Gabungan Rakyat Sabah or GRS coalition and 1 each from Barisan Nasional, Pakatan Harapan and United Progressive Kinabalu Organisation or UPKO. The swearing-in ceremony took place at Istana Sri Kinabalu before the Yang di-Pertua Negeri Tun Musa Aman. Leading the list is Parti Bersatu Sabah PBS Acting President Dato Sri Joachim Gunsalam, who is also the Kundasang State Assemblyman. He was appointed first Deputy Chief Minister and is in charge of the Public Works and Utilities portfolio. GRS Secretary General Dato Sri Masidi Manjun was sworn in as second Deputy Chief Minister and retained his role as Finance Minister from the previous cabinet. Karanaan State Assemblyman and UPKO President Dato Iwan Benedict was appointed third Deputy Chief Minister and will oversee the industrial development, entrepreneurship and transport portfolio. Other elected representatives appointed to the State Cabinet include Dato Muhammad Arifin Muhammad Arif, Parti Gagasan Rakyat Sabah Vice President and Membakut State Assemblyman, Dato Jeffrey Arifin, Sabah UMNO Secretary and State Assemblyman for Sukau, and PH Dato Jamawi Jafar, State Assemblyman for Melalap. Support from the parties and independent candidates aligned to GRS following the Sabah polls on Saturday enabled Hajiji to achieve a comfortable majority of 46 out of 73 state assembly seats, including 29 won by his own coalition. At a media conference following the swearing-in ceremony, Joachim said Hajiji had urged the state assemblyman elected to the new administration to serve the people with full dedication and integrity.
Tanggungjawab ini besar maknanya, dan saya berharap agar anda memikul amanah ini dengan dedikasi yang tidak berbelah bagi, berkhidmat pada rakyat Sabah tanpa mengira latar belakang dan laksanakan tugas dengan penuh integriti.
He also commented on whether the party Solidarity Tanah Airku or STAR was part of the newly formed state government. STAR, led by Dato Sri Jeffrey Kittingan, won 2 seats in the Sabah polls. Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim said there was no need for a major cabinet reshuffle. Instead, the Prime Minister explained that only several ministerial vacancies would be filled following the expiry of several senators' terms and the resignation of a few ministers.
Kita perlu mengisi beberapa kekosongan. Tetapi rombakan tu kalau ada masa yang panjang, tapi kabinet ini akan hanya berfungsi 1 tahun lebih, 1 tahun setengah. Jadi saya tidak fikir rombakan besar harus dilakukan. Walaupun saya sedang merenung apakah langkah-langkah yang harus diambil. Tapi mengisi kekosongan itu ada keperluan.
Anwar was speaking to reporters at an event in Kuala Lumpur on Monday amid speculation of an imminent cabinet reshuffle. Dato Iwan Benedict stepped down as Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives Minister at the beginning of last month, while Dato Sri Tengku Zafrul Abdul Aziz will conclude his role as Investment, Trade and Industry Minister on Tuesday following the expiry of his Senate term. Also currently vacant are the Economy portfolio and the Natural Resources and Environmental Sustainability portfolio previously held by Dato Sri Rafizi Ramli and Nik Nazmi Nik Ahmad respectively. Earlier in his speech at the event, Anwar said Tengku Zafrul would be given an important government role after his term as Investment, Trade and Industry Minister concludes on Tuesday.
Dia masih ada tanggungjawab. Dia tak boleh lepaskan begitu saja. Dan saya beritahu dia berakhir sebagai Menteri MITI 2 hari bulan. Dan dia terus kerja yang akan saya umumkan pada 3 hari bulan.
Tengku Zafrul was first appointed as a senator in March 2020 and subsequently served as finance minister before beginning his second term as senator, taking on the role of investment, trade and industry minister in December 2022. In another development, Anwar emphasized that the Malaysia-United States reciprocal trade agreement does not prevent the country from continuing its cooperation with China.
I don't think we should exaggerate. China remains a very important trading partner. There are some clarification which we have given actually. In fact, in my bilateral with Premier Lee Chiang, I have also explained to him nothing in the agreement to bar us from continuing our collaboration with China.
The Prime Minister was responding to media reports highlighting Beijing's concerns over certain clauses in the new trade agreements signed by Malaysia and Cambodia with the US in October. According to Bloomberg, China is worried that some provisions could require Malaysia and Cambodia to align with Washington on sensitive national security matters. The Dewan Rakyat has approved the Supply Bill 2026, also known as Budget 2026, which was tabled by the Prime Minister on October 10th. The bill was passed after securing a majority support from members of Parliament through a voice vote. Dewan Rakyat Speaker Tan Sri Johari Abdul announced the bill's passing after its third reading by Second Finance Minister Datuk Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan. Budget 2026 marks the fourth budget under the Madani government and the first to be implemented under the 13 Malaysia Plan. With the theme, A Budget for the People, it allocates 470 billion ringgit in public expenditure, comprising 338.2 billion ringgit for operating expenditure and 81 billion ringgit for development. The government is preparing for a possible second and even third wave of floods as weather patterns become increasingly unpredictable. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahir Hamidi stressed that the distribution of aid and essential supplies for flood victims must be carried out without delay. During a visit to Bagan Datuk, Perak on Monday to assess the flood situation in the district, Zahid announced that 1,000 ringgit in compassionate aid would be distributed to affected victims as early as Monday, including those still at the temporary relief centres or PPS.
Ketika mereka masih ada di PPS itu pun tidak salah untuk bantuan itu disalurkan, dan saya telah mengarahkan mula hari ini bantuan-bantuan itu diberikan sebab mereka memerlukan wang segera untuk membeli peralatan baru di rumah yang telah rosak. Walaupun saya tahu itu tidak cukup, tapi keperhatian kerajaan ialah membantu.
The National Disaster Management Committee Chairman also thanked NADMA, the Civil Defence Force, the Police, the Fire and Rescue Department and municipal councils for their swift mobilization in assisting flood victims nationwide. In the meantime, the flood situation in the country saw an improvement on Monday night, with the number of evacuees dropping to 8,751 people, now sheltering in 75 temporary relief centres or PPS across 21 districts. According to NADMA, Perak recorded the highest number of victims, with 3,684 people housed in 21 relief centres. In Selangor, 2,412 evacuees are taking shelter in 25 PPS. Perlis has 1,544 people in 9 centres, while Terengganu reported 312 evacuees across 3 PPS. In Kelantan, 300 people are currently housed in 3 relief centres. In Pahang, 280 victims are sheltering in 12 PPS, while Kedah reported 219 people taking refuge in 2 relief centres. Malaysia has successfully produced its first locally made electric vehicle with the launch of the Perodua QVE. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said the achievement is a source of great pride, describing it as a testament to the capability, discipline and ingenuity of Malaysian talent. Speaking at the QVE launch event, Anwar said the development of the EV project involved a cost of 800 million ringgit.
Pro 2 telah berjaya memenuhi kesemua komitmen yang ditetapkan oleh MITI dan kerajaan. Ya, pelaburannya 800 juta ringgit. Pembangunan lebih dari 100 tenaga pakar tempatan. Pusat pembangunan EV nasional dan pengeluaran kenderaan EV tempatan. Dan kata Zainal Abidin, harganya mampu beli.
Under the new Industrial Master Plan 2030, Perodua has been appointed as the lead local automotive manufacturer to develop the EV ecosystem. The company will collaborate with local vendors to supply 50% of components by early 2026, with the aim of increasing this to 70% by 2030. So far, 52 local companies are supplying auto components for the QVE, and there are plans to expand this network to 70 vendors within 5 years. Meanwhile, Anwar announced that Intel Corporation has increased their investment to make Malaysia a hub for its assembly and testing operations. The Prime Minister said the 860 million ringgit additional investment reflects the company's confidence in Malaysia's long-term planning, including the new Industrial Master Plan 2030. In a social media posting after a courtesy call from Intel CEO Tan Lip Bu on Monday, the Prime Minister said Intel also expressed its appreciation for the continued support of the Malaysian government, particularly for the development of the advanced packaging plant in Pulau Pinang, which involves capital expenditure of 12 billion ringgit and is now 99% complete. Anwar said he welcomed the semiconductor producers' collaboration with educational and training institutions through elective courses and research and development projects, which have received 2.8 million ringgit in funding commitments over 2 years. He added all these investments reflect the confidence of a global company in Malaysia as a key partner in driving innovation, strengthening the local talent ecosystem, and maintaining the country's competitiveness on the world stage. Malaysia's Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, or PMI, rose to 50.1 points in November, up from 49.5 in October, marking the first improvement in the sector since May last year. According to S&P Global, the uptick reflects solid economic growth in the final quarter of the year and continued expansion in manufacturing output. In a research note on Monday, S&P Global cited stronger client confidence and new product launches as key factors behind the increase. The global rating company added that businesses have become more optimistic about the future and are now hiring workers at the fastest pace since September 2022, ending 4 consecutive months of job cuts. Improved demand has also encouraged companies to increase their purchase of raw materials and inputs, marking 5 straight months of rising buying activity. Similarly, supplier performance saw a pickup in November, with vendors delivering goods more efficiently for the first time since May. A 40-year-old woman found stabbed to death. This and more after this breather.
Fan nombor 1, itu memang kamu. Jangan tunggu. Vote laju-laju. Undi calon top 10, 37. Kita bagi kecoh. Nombor 1, bintang paling popular. You are the one. Kita tentukan. ABPBH 37. Satu keunggulan. Memang tiada lawan. Joe. Undi straight sampai 9 Disember. Scan the QR. Cepat undi-undi. Benda free. Tak payah banyak bunyi. Tak cukup. Kita ganda lagi.
Aku suami, tapi juga seorang anak. Di antara dua kasih yang aku cintai, aku terperangkap dalam dalam badai yang tak pernah berhenti. Aku dah cuba.
Pusing hari letih Mami, penat dia. Dengan nak kena jaga rumah lagi.
Dengan niat yang suci, membawa kasih dan hormat, hanya mahu dicintai dan diterima. Tapi hanya air mata.
Aku tak lepaskan kau, ya. Kau takkan selamat, ya. Mami dah suruh ceraikan dia. Kenapa tak ceraikan dia? Kerana dia merampas kasih anakku dan aku tak reda. Hanya aku yang berhak menentukan jalan hidupnya. Korang berdua ni bukan menantu aku. Apa nak marah-marah kah? Setiap langkahnya, setiap kehadirannya, sumpahku hanya satu. Yang aku tengok Tuhan tu.
Sumpah Ibuku di Akasia TV3.
Hujan berterusan, punca kawasan cenderung berisiko, hati-hati dan peka keadaan sekeliling.
Benarkah lebih 1 daripada 3 lelaki di Malaysia mengalami masalah kesihatan tenaga batin? Ketahui faktor dan rawatan.
Generasi sandwich, apa tu? Generasi yang tersepit di tengah-tengah antara masalah kewangan, hubungan dan emosi.
Akta larangan media sosial di bawah 16 tahun bakal dikuatkuasakan. Adakah mampu membendung gejala sosial remaja?
Dan soal wang simpanan kecemasan buat isteri.
Isnin hingga Jumaat jam 10 pagi.
Hanya di TV3 dan ditonton.
You're watching Nightline. Certain business operators in Kuala Lumpur have been found to be misusing valid spa and health centre licenses for illicit activities. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Federal Territories, Datuk Sri Dr. Zahir Mustafa, said such activities clearly contradicts the original terms of the licence application.
Kadang-kadang kita beri lesen tetapi aktiviti yang dilakukan sebelum itu selepas pada itu adalah di luar kawalan kita. Itu yang kadang-kadang kita jumpa aktiviti-aktiviti yang selain daripada apa yang telah mereka mohon dalam lesen tersebut.
Zahir said this in the Dewan Rakyat on Monday in response to a recent raid at a men-only spa and wellness centre in Chao Kit, where 202 individuals were detained for allegedly engaging in immoral acts. She added that Kuala Lumpur City Hall, DBKL, also conducts regular monitoring in addition to enforcement actions, along with the KL Strike Force Committee to address complaints related to the misuse of premises. A 40-year-old woman was reportedly stabbed to death by her husband at their home in Gual Ipoh, Kelantan on Monday. The man is believed to have attacked his wife before picking up their youngest child from school and later calmly turning himself in. The attack happened at about 10 a.m. at the couple's home in Kampong Paku. The victim, Mastura Abdullah, was found in the kitchen with multiple stab wounds. Police said after the incident, the 63-year-old suspect left the house, collected a 10-year-old son from school and surrendered at the Gual Ipoh police station. The deceased, who was the suspect's third wife, worked as a cook in Selangor. Her body was taken to the Tanah Merah Hospital Forensic Unit for post-mortem before being laid to rest at the Kampong Paku Muslim Cemetery. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code for murder. In Terengganu, 5 out of 9 workers are currently under observation at the Dungun Hospital after inhaling toxic gas at a factory. Kemaman District Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Razi Rosli said the 4 other workers were allowed to return home. Initial investigations found that the incident occurred at about 7 p.m. on Sunday while the workers were cleaning a tank at an animal feed processing factory at the Koteh Biopolymer Park. All 9 victims aged between 23 and 40 experienced breathing difficulties after inhaling toxic gas believed to be ammonia before being rescued by other workers. The Fire and Rescue Department's Hazardous Materials or HAZMAT unit was deployed and successfully secured the site at about 1 a.m. on Monday. All victims were initially taken to the Pakar Health Clinic before 6 of them were referred to the Dungun Hospital for further treatment. Authorities later confirmed that the gas had not spread beyond the site and that the area had been declared safe for the public. Military deployed in Sri Lanka and Indonesia as floods kill over 1,000. The details when Nightline returns.
Belajar kini lebih semangat dengan TV Tuition. Lebih 5,000 video pembelajaran, lebih 100 hos hebat, terdiri daripada selebriti dan guru berpengalaman. Ulang kaji jadi lebih seronok dengan lebih 10,000 soalan latihan. serta ulasan guru yang membantu anda faham dengan cepat dan mudah. Apa tunggu lagi? Langgan sekarang dan stream di Tonton. TV Tuition, belajar di Tonton, bijak sampai lulus.
Awak tengok ni. Kejap pun sedih, kejap pun gaduh. Habis semua benda dia nak cerita.
Kenapalah suka raih perhatian?
Tapi awak suka tak menu Kelantan?
Saya suka. Saya suka nasi kerabu, ayam percik, macam-macam lagi.
Awak tengok ni lagi, saya dapat mesej menang rumah.
Awak jangan mudah percaya. Ini yang buat saya stres ni. Kadang-kadang saya rasa macam penatlah semua benda ni. Saya rasa awak burn out ni. Beza usia bukan penghalang untuk bahagia. Kisah rumah tangga Jumaat ini. Semuanya di Malaysia TV3 dan stream sekarang di Tonton.
Wanita hari ini. Wanita penuh tempo, penuh cerita. Inilah Nona, inspirasi bertemu realiti. Setiap warna mempunyai keupayaan membangkitkan pelbagai mood dan emosi. Semoga istirahat anda memberi makna yang indah walau tempohnya hanya seketika. Dan terus setia sejam bersama kami kerana Nona, inspirasi wanita untuk semua. Nona di TV3 dan stream di Tonton.
We're back with news from the foreign front. The death toll in deadly flooding and landslides across parts of Asia climbed past 1,000 on Monday as hardest hit Indonesia and Sri Lanka deployed military personnel to help survivors. In Indonesia, President Prabowo Subianto said the worst has passed after floods and landslides left at least 502 dead and more than 500 missing. He said the government's priority is rushing aid to isolated areas. So far, 3 warships loaded with supplies and 2 hospital ships have been deployed with many roads still impassable. In Sri Lanka, at least 355 people have been killed and 366 are missing in the wake of floods and landslides triggered by Cyclone Didwa. The government has appealed for international assistance with military helicopters reaching cut-off communities. Officials said damage in the central region is only now becoming clear as blocked roads are reopened. And in Thailand, authorities are using flat-bottom boats and helicopters to rescue victims and deliver food, clean water and medicine. At least 176 people have died as Cyclone Senya swept across the southern provinces, affecting more than 1 million residents. Meanwhile, search efforts are continuing for a Malaysian citizen reported missing following a landslide in West Sumatra. Wisma Putra said in a statement that 3 other Malaysian tourists have also been unreachable since November 27. 30-year-old Asrul Nizam Aprid Wasan was reported missing after the vehicle he was travelling in was struck by a landslide last Thursday, while the 3 missing Malaysian tourists have been identified as 2 men and 1 woman, all in their 60s. Initial information suggests they were last believed to be in Aceh or North Sumatra. Efforts are underway to verify their whereabouts. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Monday unveiled a renewed bid to reform the social security system after rebel Labour MPs blocked his earlier proposals last summer. He also defended Chancellor Rachel Reeves from Conservative accusations that she misled the public about the nation's finances before last week's budget. Reeves' budget, which raised taxes to ease the cost of living crisis and lift the child benefit cap, was welcomed by markets and the party's left wing, but sparked claims that Labour had broken its pledge not to raise taxes for workers. Starmer also stressed that his government must reform the welfare state after dropping plans to cut disability and sickness benefits when over 120 Labour MPs revolted. Hong Kong authorities said on Monday that 13 people have been detained over the region's deadliest fire in decades, which killed 151 people last week, a toll that could still rise. The arrests made on suspicion of manslaughter include 12 men and 1 woman aged between 40 and 77 as investigators work to determine what caused the catastrophic blaze. Officials also reveal that some of the exterior netting used on the scaffolding at the housing estate did not meet fire resistance standards. While initial tests suggest the netting was compliant, subsequent checks of 20 samples from across the complex found 7 failed safety standards, indicating contractors may have cut corners to increase profit. Investigators said these substandard materials contributed to the fire spreading so rapidly through the high-rise apartment complex. A Bangladesh court on Monday sentenced Sheikh Rihanna, the sister of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, to 7 years in prison for corruption involving the illegal acquisition of prime land in Dhaka. The Anti-Corruption Commission said Rihanna's daughter, Tulip Siddiq, a British lawmaker, also received a 2-year sentence, while Hasina and 14 former government officials were each handed 5 years in jail. Prosecutors said the trio abused their positions to unlawfully secure a 13,610 square foot plot in the capital through political influence and collusion with senior officials. All 3 were fined 100,000 Bangladeshi taka, or about $821, with an additional 6 months in jail in default of payment. On to sports now. Karate. National exponent C. Shah Malarani is eyeing a strong end to her season after claiming a silver medal on her World Championships debut in Cairo on Sunday, a moment she described as a dream come true. Moving on to football now, Malaysia failed to qualify for next year's AFC Under-17 Asian Cup after suffering a heavy 4-0 defeat to Vietnam in their final Group C match on Sunday. Both sides entered the match level on 12 points, but Vietnam, with a superior goal difference, needed only a win in the decisive clash. They struck just 4 minutes in when Pham Minh Quong pounced on weak defending. Vietnam doubled their lead in the 43rd minute through Nguyen Ngoc An Hao after a slick attacking move exposed Malaysia's defence. After the break, Nguyen Van Duong capitalised on another defensive error to make it 3-0 in the 50th minute, and Lee Sai Bak added a 4th in the 77th. Vietnam completed their qualifying campaign with a perfect 15 points and a clean sheet in all 5 matches, booking their place at the tournament set for May 7 to 26, 2026. Turning to esports, Malaysia's Homeboys X Black Shrew Esports, HBSE, successfully defended their world title, routing Nova Esports 4-0 in the grand final of the Honour of Kings International Championships on Sunday. HBSE set the tone early, winning the first two games in just 15 minutes. Their dominance continued in Game 3, with VV delivering a standout performance on Hero Arli and Yu controlling Yang Jian to secure a clean sweep in Game 4, leaving no room for a comeback. The victory not only confirmed HBSE's title defense, but also capped a remarkable turnaround after a challenging start to the season. The team pocketed $300,000 or about 1.24 million ringgit, while Nova Esports earned $150,000. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, here's a look at Botafogo Beach in Brazil, which lit up with spectacular fireworks on Sunday to mark the inauguration of an 80-meter Christmas tree with 2.3 million LED lights. With that, I'm Zahir, Kelvin, Abdullah. Thank you for watching and stay safe.